Hey bold and beautiful fans, take a deep breath, because the storyline we're about to talk about is dark, emotional, and packed with shocking twists that could change everything for the Forrester-Logan and Spencer families forever. What if two of the show's most iconic figures, Katie Spencer and Eric Forrester, were suddenly gone? And what if their deaths weren't accidents, but part of a terrifying secret someone in the family is desperate to keep buried? Let's break down this explosive spoiler theory. The Forrester mansion has seen its share of heartbreak, betrayal, and secrets. But nothing could prepare the family for the kind of tragedy that unfolds when Katie and Eric are both found unresponsive within hours of each other. At first, it looks like a horrible coincidence. Eric, still recovering from past health struggles, is discovered collapsed in his private office at Forrester Creations. Meanwhile, Katie is found at home, having missed an important meeting and not answering calls from Bill or Brooke. Two medical emergencies in one day? Suspicious. Devastating. Unbelievable. The hospital scenes are pure emotional chaos. Ridge is trying to stay strong but is clearly shaken. Brooke is in tears. Donna is beside herself with panic. Bill, who has had such a complicated history with Katie, looks like a man who just lost his anchor. Doctors rush both patients into emergency care, but whispers start almost immediately. Something isn't right. Tests reveal a shocking similarity. Both Katie and Eric have traces of a rare, slow-acting toxin in their systems. Not something you'd find in food poisoning. Not a random allergic reaction. This is something deliberate. Something administered in small amounts over time. Now we're no longer talking about a tragic coincidence. We're talking about possible murder. And the most chilling part? The toxin would have had to be given by someone close to them. Someone with access, trust, and opportunity. Which means the threat might be inside the family itself. Once word spreads that foul play is suspected, Forrester Creations turns into a pressure cooker of fear and suspicion. Ridge immediately goes into protector mode. His mind races through recent arguments, business conflicts, and personal betrayals. Who would want Eric gone? As the patriarch, Eric still held quiet power, even if he wasn't running the company day to day. Then there's Katie. She recently became more involved in media decisions and business alignments. She knew secrets. She asked questions. He challenged people. Did she uncover something she wasn't supposed to? Suddenly, past conflicts don't seem so small anymore. Every heated argument. Every bitter rivalry. Every jealous glance. Now they all feel like potential motives. This is where things get really messy. Because when you look at the people closest to Katie and Eric, almost everyone has something to lose. Ridge Forrester. He loves his father, but they haven't always agreed. Eric still had influence, especially when it came to leadership decisions and legacy planning. Could there have been tension behind closed doors? Brooke Logan. She adored Eric and is Katie's sister, but Brooke has been under enormous emotional strain. Old secrets, romantic turmoil, and family pressure have pushed her to the edge before. Donna Logan, Eric's devoted partner. She would never hurt him, right? But what if she believed someone else was trying to harm him and made a terrible mistake trying to help? Bill Spencer, Katie's ex-husband. Their relationship has been a roller coaster of love and heartbreak. Bill has enemies everywhere, and Katie sometimes stood in his way when it came to business and personal decisions. Thomas Forrester. He's worked hard to rebuild trust, but his past is filled with manipulation and obsession. If Eric or Katie discovered something damaging about him, could he have panicked? Every character suddenly looks a little more suspicious under the spotlight. Here's where the theory gets even juicier. Before her collapse, Katie had been asking questions about a quiet financial move involving Forrester Creations and an outside investor. She mentioned it briefly to Brooke, saying something didn't add up. What if Katie stumbled onto a secret deal? Something illegal. Something that could destroy the company's reputation. And what if Eric knew about it too? Eric had a way of finding things out. If he confronted the wrong person, someone already desperate, he could have put himself in danger without even realizing it. Two people asking the wrong questions. Two people silenced. That's not random. That's the motive. As both Katie and Eric remain in critical condition, their loved ones are forced to face the unthinkable. Donna sits by Eric's bedside, begging him to wake up. She talks about their memories, their laughter, their second chance at love. She refuses to believe someone would hurt him on purpose. Brooke blames herself for not taking Katie's concerns more seriously. She replays their last conversation over and over, searching for clues she might have missed. Bill is consumed with rage. If someone did this to Katie, he wants justice, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in the process. Rich becomes obsessed with finding the truth. He starts digging into company records, security footage, and private conversations, determined to uncover who betrayed his family. But the deeper he digs, the more complicated everything becomes. Security footage from Forrester Creations shows something odd. On the night before Eric collapsed, someone entered his office after hours. The camera angle doesn't show their face clearly, just a familiar silhouette. The figure pauses at Eric's desk and appears to place something in a glass of water. The footage cuts out for a few seconds after that. Tampered with. Someone didn't just poison Eric. They tried to cover their tracks. When Ridge watches the footage, his face goes pale. Because the silhouette looks hauntingly like someone he never expected to suspect. Once accusations start flying, the Forrester family begins to fracture. Old wounds reopen. Past betrayals are dragged back into the light. People start remembering arguments that seemed minor at the time but now feel loaded with hidden meaning. Thomas feels targeted and lashes out, insisting he's changed. Steffi defends her brother fiercely, warning everyone not to jump to conclusions without proof. Brooke and Taylor find themselves on opposite sides again, each protective of their children and suspicious of the other's family. Bill threatens to bring in his own private investigators, making it clear he doesn't trust the Forresters to handle this fairly. The mansion, once a symbol of power and unity, now feels like a house full of strangers. And possibly that if they don't identify the toxin's source soon, they won't know how to fully counteract it. Katie's condition worsens. Eric drifts in and out of consciousness. If they don't wake up soon, the truth might die with them. Ridge realizes the only way to save his father and get justice for Katie is to expose the person responsible before they can strike again. Because if someone in the family was capable of this once, who's to say they won't do it again? Just when everyone thinks they're closing in on the truth, a new piece of evidence surfaces. Something that suggests the Real mastermind might not be who anyone expects. What if the poisoner wasn't acting alone? What if someone manipulated events from the shadows, letting suspicion fall on the family while they stayed clean? A hidden enemy. A quiet grudge. A long game finally coming to its shocking climax. And as secrets explode into the open, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear. The danger isn't over. Will Katie and Eric survive long enough to reveal what they knew? Will Ridge uncover the truth before another tragedy strikes? And when the identity of the person behind it all is finally revealed, will the family ever recover? Because if this theory plays out, The Bold and the Beautiful is heading into one of its darkest, most unforgettable storylines ever. If you enjoyed this wild spoiler breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Backhand index pointing right, who do you think is hiding the truth? Backhand index pointing right, and could there really be a killer inside the family? Because in Los Angeles, secrets never stay buried for long. And this one might be deadly.